Hey everyone, it's Bob Perkins with AI Speed's Inside Sales Studio, bringing you another episode of the Monday Morning Sales Minute. I'm here with Dale Zwinzinski. Dale, how are you doing today?
Excellent, Bob. I appreciate you having me on.
It's great to have you. Dale is actually an application sales manager with Oracle, but his area of focus is customer experience. In fact, we were all at the Leadership Summit just recently in Chicago, and there was quite a bit of talk around customer experience and customer success. So Dale would like to share a couple ideas, a couple of tips to our viewers around how you can improve or leverage your customer experience to maybe help your sales and help grow revenue. So Dale, share with us today.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bob. The Leadership Summit that you guys put on is a great event, and a lot of people have a lot of great things that were said at the event. So one of the big things that I see, so I've been in startup companies, Fortune 500 companies, and a bit in between, and what I've realized is it's all about the customer experience. Whether you have the best product in the world or the worst product in the world or a subset product, even if you don't have the best product, if you can deliver that experience, you can deliver all the way through the process. Because the way I see it is when you sell something or market something, that's only a promise to deliver the value of your product or service. So the next step is actually delivering that value or service, and then you get into support and customer success. So there's a lot of interactions that happen from the point you market to the point you sell to the point you deliver to the point you service, and then it goes round again. So there's many interactions in that, and you could have 100 great interactions, and then you have one bad interaction. Look at United, for example. Just a few weeks ago, they have this huge customer experience nightmare now because the culture wasn't cultivated in a way that allowed the employees to be empowered to do the right thing for the customer.
Well, it's you bring up a really good point. It takes a long time to develop a good reputation, but just a moment in time can sort of hurt you. So what are some tips, ideas that you can share that maybe help us salespeople that sometimes we're paid on the sale, we move on to the next one? Some ideas, tips?
It's such a big pet peeve of mine. I used to be an implementation guy, and I wrote a lot of Java code. And in '99, I had a implementation, and the customer just didn't like the salesperson because it was all about the commission, and they're on to the next thing. And I said, when I go into sales, it's not going to be that way. I'm going to build a relationship for the long term. And so if I had one piece of advice for salespeople, it'd be build a relationship, build that interaction, because there's a couple things. I think of it from the SaaS, the software as a service perspective, and I've been in startup companies. That relationship can grow in many different directions, especially, if we talk about a lot of the inside sales people that are growing up and they're having conversations with these people, you're building that network. That network will then help you no matter where you go. You're not going to be in your job forever today. So I would just say keep that relationship and make sure that you're not just handing things off just because it's not your job anymore. I'm going to hand it off to implementation. Make sure that you're involved.
So what I'm hearing you say is salespeople are really good at grooming and developing that relationship pre-sale before they get an order. So maybe it's 5-6 calls, some emails, right? Sending them some valuable content. Do the same thing even after you've closed that sale to continue to build that relationship?
Absolutely. I'll give you an example. So one of the things I've been doing at Oracle is I have some greenfield opportunities, and then I have some customers. So when I work with my inside team to do a campaign, for example, I will put a campaign together. We did a back-to-school campaign, and we did something for our prospects, but then I put together like an upgraded package for my customers because once again, they're your lifeblood. They're going to help you. You're going to have renewals. This whole world of SaaS is a new world. And that recurring revenue, if churn will kill any SaaS company. So just making sure that you're touching them, having conversations with them, and just being engaged. It's engagement. I think we have so much noise in our world, whether it's sales or service. That noise is stifling out the engagement, and I think that's what's missing.
Yeah, so good, really good thoughts. And, I think those salespeople watching would say, hey, those are really good ideas, Dale. Now you got to go put them to work, right? Schedule that follow-up call, if nothing else, to further that relationship, even if you're not proposing a sale or getting an order.
Yeah, and I think maybe just go on a QBR. Like sometimes what happens is there's a quarterly business review that your implementation team's doing. Show up, bring lunch, have a conversation. Maybe there's another sale happening or someone else they can introduce you to, or their neighbor knows someone that you're selling. You just never know. And not only just the calls and the emails, but what about, all the social interactions that are happening pre-sale? Yeah. Some of that stuff can happen post-sale. Some of that, you find an article, you read an article, you can pass it to your customer, or they're trying to hire somebody and you have a good candidate for them. All of that stuff really goes into the longevity of your brand and your career. And so it boggles my mind that salespeople have not they don't have a grasp on this yet.
Well, you bring up such a good point there. Invest in that relationship. Invest in giving back to the customer, whether it's in part of the sales cycle or outside of a current sales cycle. Continue to give, continue to invest, develop that relationship, right? Make that experience good through forever, really. So, Dale, it's been great having you, and hopefully we'll talk again, have you back on the show again. And if anyone wants to talk to you further about customer experience, what's the best way for them to contact you?
Yeah, so I have my Twitter handle is Zwinzinski. Find me on LinkedIn. I also have my own blog that I write on customer experience called thesaleschangeagent.com.
Great.
I write all this content. I have a couple of interesting tips, and I guess I'll leave your audience with one last piece of information. Customer experience is a journey. There's no destination to it. Don't put a flag in the ground. You're not going to say I've fixed it or I've done it. It'll continue to change, and so that journey will be a very interesting one in the next 5 years.
Great way to look at it. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Bob Perkins signing off from AISP's Inside Sales Studio. Have a great weekend, everyone. Good selling. Bye-bye.